everyone, Weis Dietitian Taylor here. Thank you so much for joining us for our very first video in our nutrition series. And so April's theme is going to be the truth about sugar, how to satisfy your child's sweet tooth. And so today we're going to talk about the healthy snack formula. And I've got 3 snack ideas to share with you that follow that. And so the healthy snack formula is when you pair some fiber with some protein and or some healthy fats. And so nuts or nut butters are actually a great way to do that because they have all 3. And so if you do have any food allergies at home, for the ideas here that use nut butter, you could use some nut butter alternatives such as sunflower seed butter. And then for the one recipe that does use some nuts, you could sub in some sunflower seeds, some pepitas, or even some dried edamame. All of those will still provide the benefits of some healthy fats, some fiber, and again, the plant-based protein. So we'll go ahead and jump right in with our very first idea here, and this is going to be a strawberry peanut butter pinwheel. And so it's just kind of a spin on a classic PB&J. And so what I've done is I've started off with a whole grain tortilla. I spread that with some natural peanut butter. And now I use natural peanut butter because it typically only has 2 ingredients, peanuts and salt. So it avoids any added sugars. And the way to kind of check that and verify that it does not have any added sugars is just to look at the ingredients. And you'll be able to tell if they've added sugar to it or not. And then I've layered some sliced fresh strawberries because I had some in my fridge that I wanted to use up. You could also use some thawed frozen strawberries or some sliced grapes, depending on what you have available. Now, if you are looking for a little bit of a sweeter taste, or you're dealing with some strawberries that are a little more tart, you can add a drizzle of honey. And then just like that, you kind of have a different fun idea, and you can eat it as is, or you can slice it into the little pinwheels like I did here. Our second idea is going to be do-it-yourself trail mix. And so the benefit of doing it yourself with trail mix is that sometimes pre-made trail mixes can have a lot of added sugar or a lot of added sodium. By making it yourself, you can control those 2 things. So my first ingredient is going to be some low sodium almonds. And so, you could always use raw almonds, but either way, you're going to cut back on some of that sodium by choosing one of those 2 options. I also have some walnuts that were in my pantry, so I'm going to add those. And now keep in mind, like I mentioned, you can use some nut alternatives that I mentioned earlier, or you can use any nuts that you have on hand, really. So if you have some peanuts in there, or some pistachios or anything like that, you can use those as well. I'm going to add next some whole grain cereal. That will kind of increase the fiber intake, or the fiber content a little bit too, and make it even more filling. And then lastly, I've got some dried apricots that I've quartered. And so again, similar to the nuts with the dried fruit, you can use whatever you might have in your pantry. I would just recommend that you aim for dried fruits that have little to no added sugars. And again, you can know that by looking at the ingredients. And so that's just going to add a little bit of sweetness in there. And then of course you've got some great texture with the other nuts. So a nice filling snack here. The last idea that I have to share with you today is going to be apple sandwiches. And so again, just kind of a fun, different way to mix up your snack routine. And so you start off with a whole apple, you core them, any apple you like, and then you slice it into little rings. And then so on one ring, you're going to spread a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of cinnamon, and then if you'd like, again, a little bit of honey. And then you can add either, I used dried cranberries here. You can also use raisins if you have those on hand, either one. And then you add another ring on top. And just like that, you have a fun little snack sandwich. So for these, you can actually make them ahead of time if you're interested. You just would spread a little bit of lemon juice on them to prevent any browning, and wrap them tightly and store them in a fridge. So most of these are pretty portable, easy snacks to have on the go. So thank you so much for tuning in for our first video for our nutrition series. I hope to see you at the next one.